What can you do to ensure that in your next Scrum interview, you are actually walking away with a job? In this video, I want to talk about three different components. What you must do before even your first application, what you need to do before an application, what you need to do during the interview, what you should do after the interview, and how can you coordinate all of this effort towards a job. Welcome to the Scrum Chatroom with Dr. Francis mbunya, and today we're keeping it simple, but I want to make sure that you are actually part of this amazing community where we are putting out videos daily just to make sure that you're not missing out anything on your agile journey. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment, drop a like, about thumb up button so that next time the same video immediately I'm posting, you're going to be the first to actually get the video. Now, without wasting much time, I want us to get deeper into the conversation today. One of the major reasons why a lot of people spend so much time in interview, number one, is that they're not well prepared. So I want to talk about pre-preparation. What should you do before you ever send out your first application? Right. I know after the certification, don't prepare a resume. After the certification, you want to take time to master the theory and concept, right? Theory and concept. I call it the Scrum language. How do you know that you've mastered it? Not by studying and trying to memorize. Ask someone who is knowledgeable and like, hey, you know what? I'm planning to get into the job market. I've done quite some studies and all of that. Can you just interview me? Let me hear how I'm going to respond. That's when you know if you know if you've actually understood. There's a difference between learning and understanding. Now, your easiest and their most effective way out is join a community of practice because they have been doing it over and over again. They have been helping students going through the same process so they can easily help you. If you want to join a community that is amazing and can help you go through the process in less than no time, we have an amazing community. Kind of just send me a text or check the description and book a free consultation. We'll be able to help you out. Now, that's the first thing. Now, before the first interview, also make sure that you have the right certification, right? The right certification, I'm looking at Safe Scrum Master certification. I'm looking at either a PSM or CSM certification. Those are the two basic certifications. If you're opportune and you have the resources to go for a Kanban or a PO training certification, that will also add some weight into the process or have an opportunity. I would not really recommend taking higher certifications like ROTE and SPC before your first job. It might just end up complicating the whole process. Now, when you've done this, the second thing you want to do is, right, you can work on the resume. Working on the resume is very tactical, especially with Scrum Masters. For instance, most often we don't have entry-level Scrum Master. So you must learn how to tailor your previous opportunity into Scrum, right? And that is when you're able to now tell a compiling story when you are interviewing. Now, interviewing is a conversational process. When it's a conversation, you cannot fake it that really way. You must master it. Now, let me kind of decompose what I mean by faking here. If I write a movie, right, and I need to act that movie, what will happen? I'll need to role play until I become that movie. So when I'm acting, there is no difference between reality and what I'm saying. Right. So that's what I'm talking about. You must master your resume to a point where you can have a conversation and someone feel reality in there. What are the components of ensuring that you master your resume or ensuring that you even build the right resume? There are two components you must master, which most often resume writer will not get it right. The first is understanding the agile maturity growth of a of the agile maturity growth of any company. Right. For instance, you cannot tell me you started working as an agile coach, you moved to a scrum master, then you moved to a team lead and all of that. You must understand what are the different roles in what are the different phases in agile, right? So it's going to be kind of really convincing to me. You started your journey as a business analyst or as a project manager or as a team lead or as a or let's say a transformational lead or as a portfolio manager, and then you start pivoting to Scrum, and you've been able to grow from a Scrum Master to a senior Scrum Master and maybe an Agile coach, it makes total sense to me. Right. But then it would not really make sense to me if you tell me, look, I was working as a laboratory technician, then out of a sudden I became a Scrum Master. That might be true, but someone listening to this, it doesn't really sound well in the ear, right? So being able to understand agile maturity is the company kind of want to start transitioning. Most often they were doing pure project management and which kind of involve project manager, business analyst. So building a story that shows that you were engaged in this transformation kind of really help you a lot. Now, this also translates to how you're able to tell that story, right? If you create this part for yourself, it's easier for you to navigate the path. No, a story is one upon a time I was this. I had no clue about Scrum. Then I came across this, and I was able now to walk between this company, and this is currently what I'm doing. Right. Now, when you do that in an interview, your biggest goal is to strike a conversation with confidence. How do you strike a conversation with confidence? I'm going to give you two questions, and we are going to look at how we can convert that into a conversation. Number one question, tell me about your previous job as a Scrum Master. Oh, wow, thank you. My previous job as a Scrum Master was with Spectrum, and with Spectrum, we're trying to build a project and portfolio management system that help them to effectively monitor all their projects, but most effectively connecting time and budget across the financial and the agile lean agile center of excellence. So we had to build application where employees or staff that are working on different stories could be able to, as they're inputting their stories, we could tie this story into a dollar figure, and then they will push that through the financial department so they can be able to accrue effectively. So they look at what are the estimation before the project began, what are the actual spend, and this help them to forecast on future projects. Did that sound real to you? Yes. But then if I ask you, tell me about your previous jobs, like, oh, in my previous job, I was a Scrum Master, I was supporting my team on performance, I run sprint planning, I also did a retrospective. You know, one of my favorite retrospective technique, you're telling me stories that really do not add so much value, right? So mastering your storytelling, it's like, wow, somebody want to learn more about it. Now let's look at the second question. Tell me how you've been able to manage difficult team members. Oh, wow, that's a great question. You know, when you work in a team, it's kind of inevitable to have some of the team members who are difficult. But for me, I don't really look at them as difficult. Sometimes they find it difficult aligning to the goals, to the processes that we are actually using. So that make them create a resistance. So what I always do is not to count them as being resistant. I want to understand what is actually pushing them have that feeling, have that behavior. And I'll give you a particular example. I had a team member, and every time we talk about being able to create transparency by moving all our information that we're documenting on spreadsheet to our Jira page or to a conference page, they were always against. Oh, I think let's just drop it in the team space so that everybody can easily access that and all of that. And when I kind of pushed through and realized that and had a one-on-one, I realized this person was resistant because they had no knowledge on how complaints actually work and how you could document it. So with that knowledge, I had to create a session like, okay, guys, maybe I should create a session and just teach you how easy it is to get this document. I started doing it, put on a working session and then walk through it. And everyone like, oh wow, this is so easy. And that was just sharing a link. You could click there, view through all the document rather than having 5 different documents in the team space. You could just click on our page and you could just click on our team space and then go through the pages. And that was easy for everybody. Okay, perfect. Now, you see, we get into stories and conversation, right? We're not just talking about, oh, yeah, there's a team member, they were very difficult. I had a one-on-one with them, and I find out why they were being very difficult. And after I spoke with them, now they stopped being difficult. Sometimes when you talk, right? When you talk and get most of this example, you can see the difference. What's the difference? The difference is in practice, right? The difference is in practice. If you really are serious about your Scrum journey, and you're struggling and you're not someone that can easily put this thing together, your best bet is get support from those who know how to do it. That's your best bet. It doesn't matter what it's going to cost you. Invest and make sure that you're getting that support. All right. So you've had this amazing conversation during your interview. What happened next? At the end of the interview, one of the things you want to do is you always want to send an email to your interviewer like, oh, thank you. Most often you might not have the direct email of the interviewer, but you have the one of the recruiter. You want to send an email like, oh, what's an amazing interview. XYZ made it very easy. I just want to thank them. Follow up is very important. Right. So make sure you're respectful in your follow up. So, and at the end of the day, what we want to do or what we want to kind of really, really pay attention is that I always remind everyone, don't go to an interview because you want to go get a job, right? The end result is a job. But go for an interview because you want to strike a good conversation with the interviewer, right? With the interview manager. What was the difference? It's a good conversation that converts to a job. It's not you just going there means you have a job. The reason why many people are frustrated is because they don't understand what leads to a job. They don't understand how a good interview, a good conversation leads to a job. They just like, I want the job, I want the job, I want the job. So they're not paying attention to what kind of get them the job. So go in there. Your goal is to like, I want a good conversation. I want these people to really kind of feel me. So what should I pay attention to if I want a good conversation? Pay attention to mastery. Pay attention to the way you actually narrate. Pay attention to how you interact and not just being that person you're behind your computer and you're answering questions like you're being put in the spot. That doesn't work. So if you do all of this, you realize you improve your interviewing experience, and in less than no time, trust me, you are going to land that job. If you actually need help, please reach out. We'll be able to guide you, but don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, which of the video or what topic you want me to talk about next. Drop it in the comment and we'll take it out from there. If you need help and you cannot find my number or find the booking link, also drop a comment. I'll reach out to you and show you how you can get that help.